but I know it's in my blood. I keep falling in love with the moon and all the stars. Oh.
Welcome to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh. And today's guest, I'm making another one of my exceptions. It's not technically an East Coast artist. I did have an artist approach me that I wanted to talk to, and we have her here today. So I'd like to welcome Laura Welle. Thank you for joining us, Laura.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much.
So one thing I want to get into right away, you are currently living here in Canada. You're in
Yes.
Toronto area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do want to kind of go back a little bit and get a little bit of your origins here. So I am aware that maybe about 10 years ago, maybe a little more, you would have been fronting like a rock cover band, the Blue Chrome.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So that
It,
was Italy, right?
yeah, because I'm a newcomer and I'm Italian. So yeah, I came here last April
Okay.
2024. And yeah, everything started back in Italy, of course. So
Yes.
I started my first musical project in Italy with a couple of friends, and we did rock covers. And then later on I started writing my own music, but yes, we started with a rock band, so which is kind of uh it's crazy because now I'm not focusing on rock music,
Mhm.
and I can say that I explored any genres. Like, I was able to listen to many genres, and I love this because you never stop. Like, it's always like it's a sort of, I don't know. It's a personal growth. You know,
Yeah.
the the better the better. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
So what made like I could see that there was influences there. Like obviously you're multilingual.
Yeah.
So I could see some influences obviously from North America with the covers that you're doing.
Yeah.
But when you made the transition into being, I do know that you also started a career like where you were doing other things outside of the cover band. But
Yes.
what made the decision to move to Canada and pursue a music career in English?
Yeah. So the for one thing, so music, English music is, of course, something that has a it has a more resonance. So as for writing in English, I find it more natural instead of
Hmm.
Italian. And also because in English we have shorter words, like you can rhyme easily. In Italian we have very long verbs, and it's not easy just to uh, like create sentences that can rhyme together. Of course you can, but I find it less natural. Okay,
Hmm.
it's something very personal, of course. So and yeah, so I decided to move to Canada, and especially Toronto, because it's a very multicultural, and it's very close to New York, so it has a
Yeah.
sort of influence, and I was really interested, and yeah, that's why I decided to, like, yeah, to do this. And of course, I started writing in English um, in 2018.
Hmm.
I started writing my first EP before the pandemic, and but then everything stopped, of course, because of that. And yes, it wasn't a crazy experience, because then I started releasing my own music during the pandemic in 2020,
Hmm.
and then I decided to yeah, to go for it. So yeah.
I can see from my point of view anyway, I'm being Canadian,
Yes.
obviously, I would choose Canada too, but I also know that in the two areas that you mentioned, that both Toronto and New York do have strong Italian communities within them as
Yes,
well.
yeah.
So I could see how that would be an organic decision. Uh,
Yeah,
would
yeah.
like to see that at some point you come explore the East Coast. The summer's coming. We have a lot of beaches down here, so it might be good
Yeah,
to
I would
visit.
love to. I would love to. I'm planning some trips, and hopefully, yeah, yeah. And there are many, many festivals that are very, with many talented artists there.
Yes.
So, yeah, yeah, I have a list, and I really hope to make it, because there are so many, many festivals there. So, yes.
And so, to kind of give people an idea of what you're doing now that you are a Canadian resident and you're a musician, I did see that outside of what we've already talked about, like you had collaborated with some different producers and DJs doing.
Yeah,
So you, like you said, you've tackled quite a few genres. You've done a little
yes,
bit of rap, kind of a hip hop style over top of some of those producers' tracks, and a
yes,
little bit of R&B influence in there too. So definitely, I can see a lot of different avenues that you could steer that music into.
yeah.
So I did see that you did quite a few collaborations with a group Crafted out of UK.
Yeah, yeah. It's an independent label from the UK, and I was able to get in touch with Paul Sawyer, which is a British producer for progressive house music. So it's another genre again.
Yeah.
It's crazy to explore those genres, and I think we can always learn from one genre to another one. And yeah, he told me, so I have some instrumentals, and I would like to do some projects, like some EPs. Would you like to be part of this project? And I was like, of course, I would like to come up with a melody and with some lyrics. And so I was able to be like, I was like the 50% of the project. Like, he produced the instrumentals, and I wrote the lyrics, and I came up with the melody, of course. And that was a very there was an incredible project for me, because it was the first time that Crafted as a label reached those numbers, which was really, really impressive for them, but also for me, because
Mhm.
as an Italian, a non-native speaker, it was kind of a mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we managed to have like very good positions on iTunes and Beatport, and yeah, that was amazing, and I still can't believe it. And also, we got the opportunity to be broadcast on BBC Radio One many, many times, and I'm very, very, very happy for everything that happened. And yes.
It's one thing that you kind of bring to the table for yourself that's a unique thing from some of the other artists that would be native to Canada their entire
Mhm.
lives, is that you've brought with you kind of a international following because you
Yes.
have an Italian base and you would have stuff that's UK based on working with those people as well, and then being here in
Yeah,
North America.
I must confess, I have many people listening. So the majority of my audience comes from Northern America, so from the US, from UK, and from Canada, of course. So I have Italians listening to my music, but it's incredibly it's a minor part. It's not.
Okay.
I don't have many Italians
Yeah, yeah.
following me, but anyway,
Well, it's
yeah.
when they're hearing the English songs and then you throw in a couple like Italian verses in one of them. That's when you're going to get those numbers boosted
Yeah,
up.
I
The,
guess.
the hometown girl effect.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to write a sort of polyglot song with some French, English, and Italian probably, or something like that. That could be interesting, for
And so, do you know
Yeah.
French as well?
Yeah, I know. Of course, I'm not of course, I'm not very fluent, but I
Sure.
studied it, so of course I can come up with something. But yeah, I would like to explore also French language as
Hmm.
for the music background. Yeah.
Well, and since we're talking about languages as well, I am also aware that Well is the name that you adopted for your
Yes.
English career.
Yeah.
So that's of a German origin as
Yeah,
well?
that's correct because so my real last name is very difficult to pronounce even for Italians because it comes from the Celts. So it has a weird pronunciation and it has 9 letters. So I was like, okay, I need something that is very short. And so everything started with the song Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers
Yes.
because it's and that song was very was a sort of like it influenced me a lot because when Anthony Kiedis sings um can't stop he said so I wonder what the wave meant, and he keeps like mentioning this wave, the wave of change, and it's something that you can't stop, and you're a part of it. The tears that drop to be part of the wave can stop. So it's something that I wanted to bring. It's because I'm something that is always I feel myself, I perceive myself as something that is always evolving. You never stop. Like I'm one person, and I'm not the same person that I used to be 10 years ago. So it's always it's always a sort of work in progress.
Hmm.
So it's and the translation in German, it's Welle, but we pronounce it well in the Italian, in the English, of course, pronunciation. So that's why I decided to.
I like it.
Yeah,
And I like that there is an actual backstory behind it too,
yeah,
because in some cases there wouldn't be as that much thought put into it. But I love, I mean, specifically doing interviews
yeah,
with people, it's great to hear an actual longer answer. So that's a cool story.
thank you.
Now I'm wondering, with your music going forward, since you have established yourself here now and you do have a following,
Yeah.
what are you looking to do? Like, do you have plans for 2025? Do you have some goals that you've already set that you're trying to accomplish?
So I would like to perform live again because I was able to perform at the Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto and at the Black Swan, and of course just to just of course I would like to be able to perform again in other venues, and probably I don't know, maybe some festivals. Fingers
Hmm.
crossed. And one thing that I would love to do is to write for other artists because I also present myself as a songwriter for other people that would love to collaborate. So that would be amazing for me, just to have like those achievements.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So, as far as a live performance, what
yeah,
would people expect to see in that? Because we'd covered multiple genres in what you're capable of bringing to the table.
yeah.
So, we know that you're focused on developing an English audience here too. So,
Yes.
I know that much, but are people going to get the version of you that would have like a backup band of musicians, or is it going to be somebody with like a DJ?
Yeah, someone like yeah, I perform with instrumentals since the genre is of course R&B, hip hop, and pop. So I don't have a band with me right now, but never say never.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would like to of course in the future have like a bigger team, of course. But right now I'm performing with instrumentals, so yeah, I do have someone that can help me on stage, or friends like that can help me with that. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and I perform like with yeah, again with instrumentals. Yes.
And so we covered that you're you know, multiple languages, but are
Yeah.
you also, do you also play multiple instruments with your music?
Oh, not, but I would love to. I would love to. I only play piano, but not at an academic level.
Hmm.
So because it was really really pivotal for me to learn piano, so as to write my music. You know, just to of course if you know chord progressions, like you create the skeleton, the so-called skeleton
Hmm.
of a song, and you can come up with melodies with the harmony, and then you can have an idea of like a previous draft of a song, of course. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's how it goes.
I'm not technically a musician, and I always say just absolutely that I'm not, but I do have some training from when I was younger, so like some
Okay.
theory and stuff, and I have translated tablature, and I
Yes.
have some piano experience, so
Yes.
I can visualize how if you're writing lyrics that having rudimentary knowledge of some of those things is almost a necessity just to kind of work the melodies out to kind of think it out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So if anybody out there was looking, like you had mentioned, that you're interested in collaborations and potentially songwriting for people,
Sure.
I always ask people where they can follow you online to keep up with what you have coming out, but where should people reach out if they're interested in collaborating with you?
Yeah, of course they can reach out to me on Instagram. So I am Laura Welle, and also I have TikTok, but I'm not posting right now. But I also have a profile. So, and my handle there is at the Laura Welle. And yes, basically, and if they would like to have an idea of what I do, they can follow me on Spotify or Apple Music, Amazon Music. Just type in Laura Well, and then everything will be there.
Perfect. Now, I do want to ask you about the TikTok as well.
Yeah.
You did have kind of some attention to that at one point where people were using one of your songs. I'm aware now, maybe for some of my audience does not use TikTok.
Yeah.
So, just for their benefit, the basic version of what I'm saying, sometimes
Yeah.
songs get picked and used for edits, like video
Yeah.
edits that users are making, and then the song kind of goes viral, like more so than it
Yeah.
being a viral video. The song itself is the thing that went viral because it's being used multiple times. So
Yeah. It can blow
you,
up out of the blue. Yeah.
yeah, so you had that amazing occurrence where one of your songs was picked up for a little while.
Yeah, I was when Chewing Gum, my song, came out in 2022, it was used by a fan base of Rihanna, and they created a sort of edit video with her dancing, and it was like it seemed like she was dancing to my song because it had the same rhythm. I don't know, like I have no idea about the original song that she was
Yeah.
dancing to, of course. And that was crazy to see because I was like, okay, what's going on? And now my song counts, it's close to 30,000
Wow.
yeah, streams on Spotify. So that's crazy. And it's a very little percentage, of course, if you compare to okay, millions of views, but I'm a tiny artist right now, so it's a lot for me.
Yeah. 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 Well, comparatively, like in the Canadian music scene,
Yeah.
that that that's good. Like that's really good numbers, like internal to the country. So, as somebody that already has a little bit of exposure
Hmm.
outside, I can only see that growing for you over the next few years too. It sounds like it's a really exciting time for you, but I am also wondering, we talked about how you had made the transition from living in Italy to being a
Yeah.
Canadian citizen, but it's been a long period of time that you've been here? Like the years
It's
have
almost
gone
a year,
by.
almost a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you found? I'm curious because I'm always been here.
Sure.
As cultural differences,
Yeah.
maybe not so much political. I think we get enough of that in the news. But yeah, what did you find as far as differences moving to Canada? Maybe a couple things that you liked about moving here that you hadn't experienced before.
So I found very supportive people here, like very, very supportive people that would love to that like to understand more about you, and they like to listen to different point of view. And I really, really appreciate that because I think it's part of a personal growth, you know.
Hmm.
And also the thing that you're not a native speaker and that you want to perceive a career by using another language that is not like your native one.
Hmm.
I see people that they really appreciate that, and they want you to be part of the community. So again, it's really, really supportive for me. And unfortunately, as a person that as always so I that decided to write in English, it I didn't find this support in Italy. So here I feel like more at home.
Yeah.
It's another level, I guess. It's and also I do prefer bigger cities. I really love the environment, you know. It's I feel at home here, I can tell you. Yeah.
I I did go look up your hometown to see
Okay.
where, like,
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it looked like, and I did find a couple clips. I know a lot of the video is not available anymore, but I did find a couple clips from the Blue Chrome.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it
Oh my
you
God.
there was some clips with the background was your hometown as well. So I I'm aware it was a very beautiful space and with
Yeah.
lots of old architecture.
Yeah.
So I do find that kind of interesting as well because it's something that from the reverse side, like people from here that grew up with everything that
Sure.
we
I know.
have, they look at that and they're like, wow, what I wouldn't do to go over. So it is, that's why I wanted to ask about what it was like making the
Yeah.
transition, because I
I
also realized that's night and day. Like we're a fairly new
absolutely
country.
has. And I think that, you know, a person that has always lived here in Canada can look at Italy like a place where the grass is greener, you know, like, oh, everyone is relaxed. You have countryside, you have beautiful medieval cities, but of course, when it comes, you know, to art and art like historical centers, it's great, of course, but you have to like also look for other opportunities, of
Hmm.
course. So if you want to if you want to look for something different, you gotta like you have to dare to live, of course.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you over on our side of the ocean for sure. And I would like to see you make a trek down here on the East Coast at some point. So if you do
Oh
have
yeah,
that opportunity, make sure that you reach out to us. We'd be happy
of
to
course.
promote any
Yeah.
endeavors. Now, for anybody that's not familiar with your music, as you mentioned, they can find you on Spotify and all the major streaming
Yeah.
platforms because you
Sure.
have good distribution for that. But is there maybe a specific song that you'd like to play off this episode with to give people a taste?
Yeah, sure. I would like to play Night Owl, which is my latest release. And the crazy thing is that I was able to film my music video for this song, and it's like my first video here in Toronto. And my collaborator, Joe Rucco, which has Toronto roots, he is from Tennessee, but he his parents are from Toronto, and we were able to film the video at 11 p.m. and it was so tired, and I was like, you're a true talent, you're a true artist, thank you so much for being that, you know, like he's so professional, he has a dedication like anybody else, and he's a friend, and we love to collaborate with each other, and we're working on a new song right now, so, and I can't wait to share with everybody else, so yeah.
Amazing. I'm definitely excited to hear. I did check that out myself as well,
Yeah,
and it's a beautiful video. So I will be excited to hear what else the two of you may have coming out.
yeah, thank you.
So we'll play off with that today. And like I said, stay in touch. Let us know what's happening with the
Sure.
next release. And for everyone out there, subscribe to East Coast DNA. There's going to be a lot more content coming this year. We just wrapped up a lot of coverage over in Music PEI, and now I'm kind of going around and seeing who else around the country wants to have a little chat before I ramp up some coverage for the East Coast Music Awards coming in May 2025. So thank you, everyone, and thank you
So
again,
much.
Laura.
Thank you very
And
much. Thank you.
we'll talk again soon.
Sure. Okay.
Bye.